is done, we want to kind of put it into presentation mode. So the best thing to do is to do File, Save As, go in the top corner here, go File, Save As, and as long as you give it a different file name, it's going to save a copy. And you want to save it as the date that you're submitting this, the date, your name, and in this case the word car project, some identifier at the end is how you should always save these files. So your name, the date, and car project for this one. And so I'm not going to do that because I've already done it, but File, Save As, do that, save it as a different name. Always save, always know where you're saving so you know where it's being sent to. In this case, I'm wondering, see, I have a ton of scenes in here. Actually, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to do this because I believe what I have in here is all my stuff that I've been experimenting on. It's still in here. It looks like a used car parking lot. So what I'm going to do is find one of my best cars or a good car in here. You guys would go to your car. Let's see what I got here. Here's a good one. I think maybe the best way to do this is this. You get to this point. Let's do this. If we drag a box around, that's two components. And I'm going to copy it. So I'll right-click and hit copy. It's always weird. It looks like nothing happens, but hit copy. That's fine. And then actually I'm going to go File, New. Okay, so here's a brand new file. And then I'm going to right-click and hit Paste in Place. And if, who knows, it could be anywhere on the screen. So if you can't see it, hold down Shift and tap Z because that will always put everything on the screen. And so I think probably a good thing to do is to grab this, move it over, get it close to where the origin points are, where the axes come together. Okay, so now we have this. So save that, give that same type of thing. You want to name it, the date, your name, and in this case, maybe car project final. And then, assuming that this is all set up, this completely done, the car looks good. There's a few more things I could see I could do on here, but what I'm going to do is this. I want to get this at ground level, make sure, because I don't really know. One way you can check if it's on ground level is I turn on shadows. So if I click on the glasses, turn on shadows, you can play with the time or whatever. And this looks like it's actually not in a bad spot. But what's more likely to happen when you guys do this is that it's going to show up probably punched into the ground. So if you turn on shadows and you see that, it's a little hard to tell, but you can see that shadow is at ground level, so you can see it's punched into the ground. So a good way to make sure it really is at, the tires are at ground level is to select this, select the bottommost point that you can find, and I'm going to hit the up arrow key so it can only go up and down, and then I'm going to touch that origin point right by that guy's foot. Actually, that's I think that's a woman, believe it or not. It's hard to tell. I always thought it was a guy, but she is a famous person. Looks like the scaling's gotten weird in this, but I don't really need the person. So anyway, you should see that the shadows should just be coming right off of the tires like that. And but anyway, it's hard to tell so that puts me there. So the reason I had you guys copy it and put it in a new file is because now if I went to scenes over here, there are no scenes. There's nothing showing here in scenes. So sort of the final thing is here, we turn the shadows on. You can adjust the shadows so it looks good. And then maybe I'll make this a scene. So I'll hit the plus on here in scenes. There's the scene. And then I'm going to change my point of view. Basically, you probably only need, we'll see how many we end up with here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to zoom in. You can go to, like I'm going to set this up as another scene, but I could also change the shadows. The shadows will kind of animate when I do this. So I'm going to just set the shadows up so it looks good and hit new scene, hit the plus. And I'll move around it, get some dramatic views of the car, just so it looks good. Hit another scene. Basically, you just want to work your way all the way around the car. I can say I need to paint those pieces up there. And again, in any given scene, you can adjust the shadows to make it look better. And the shadows will animate when we do this. So get that, add that scene, make the full circuit here. And maybe I'd even do a top-down view. So those are 6 scenes, and we could go over here in the scenes and hit the play button. Give it a second to load, and it's going to run through this. You'll see the shadows change as it goes, maybe. Yeah. I'm going to hit pause over here. So I can click on a particular scene. I'll show you how the shadows actually animate. If I had this scene with the shadows here, I could change the shadows. If I add a scene, so now I've got 2 of the same view, but the shadows are different. So there's the shadows animating. Gives you a little dramatic effect. And now my animation looks like this. Actually, one last thing when you do this, let's do this. I'm going to stop this. When you're here, I want you guys to put your name in. I'm going to go over to rectangle tool. For some reason they put the lettering in there. Go to the big A over here, 3D text. Turn off where it says text extrusion. And actually, if you want to put text extrusion on, you could do that. It's going to get great 3D text. And you're going to put in designed and drawn by your name. Came in kind of huge. That's a little overkill. I'm going to rotate this out, hit Q, hit the up arrow key, rotate this around 90 degrees, move it a little bit. Again, you don't want to appear too egotistical here, so that's pretty huge. So I'm going to hit S to scale this. If it'll help work out here. Come on, machine. Let's do this. Be nice. Selected, hit S. I'm going to scale it down. Looks like it's lagging out on me. Come on. Scaling's not working. It's a funny thing. Text can act weird, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explode it and turn it into a group. Now I'm going to try S for scaling. Could just be lagging out. It's fighting me. All right. So I'm actually going to go back to the lettering and see what I used here. It was 6 inches extrusion to 1 foot lettering. That's too big. So I think you guys should put in the lettering. How about like 4 inches? I'm going to try that. I'm just going to try it out. Make the height 4. And actually maybe make these 4 and 4. That's going to be better. it's even a little tall, so you could do 4-inch high lettering and maybe make the extrusion like 2 if you want it 3D. Anyway, it is weird that, well, what else is new? Hit S for scaling. It's not cooperating. Strange. I think it's just lagging on me and being a pain. Yeah. Yeah, it's just not scaling at all. All right. That's that. So you want to create these scenes. You want to put in designed and drawn by, and then your name. Maybe put in your name and ARCH2, ARCH2, and save it and submit it. Yeah, nothing's working for me right now. That's it.